The CMH Group, not just your local dealership, but the motoring team dedicated to your vehicle needs. Whether you are looking to buy a new or used car online or in one of our many dealerships, our trained staff will be there to guide you. With our state-of-the-art service centers, products and parts, we guarantee peace of mind. The CMH Group isn't just the first choice, we are the only choice. Visit your local CMH Group dealers today.
Time for our next semi-final. In the blue corner, please welcome Reece van Merwe. His opponent in the green corner, Deslie Faithfull.
Here we go.
You got Pesver versus Henzo Gracie Cape Town.
PE versus Cape Town. Super interesting. So they know their opponent is Jordan Leclerc, and now we're going to figure out who goes from here. The mighty Bobby Carriaginides. Let's go. So straight away we want to see who. I mean, if you're Deslie, if you feel maybe you're a little bit stronger, you want to get heavy on that head and start weighing straight into that top position again.
Look, I do imagine Deslie's going to employ much of a similar tactic.
100%. I had a chat with Brandon Newman just in the break. Excuse me. And he was talking about this control position and how tight it is and how much pressure. Reece doing a great job of trying to keep those hips elevated into the half guard.
What Reece is doing really well, though, he's keeping his frames in between. He's not allowing that famous like Renzo floating knee passes.
Great hip elevation there.
He's employing some good butterflies and frames with his legs. The question that comes into, like, what's he going to attack there? He's looking for a shoulder lock over there.
Shoulder lock or more like just like a control kind of position to start looking for a sweep.
It's kind of how he set up against Tal, where he went shoulder lock into a rolling armbar.
Jordan
he's immediately elevating the ankle so that even if he does slice, he's still underneath the hips and he can look for a sweep afterwards.
And Deslie's actually looks like he's straight back to that knee.
Deslie's...
And watch what he does, and this is what we were talking about. He goes shin across the belly, and then he starts to drive the knee into the belly. And then the head... now looking for that head and arm a little bit. Great shoulder control there by Reece.
Yeah, Reece.
And now he's going
wondering if he's
guard.
pendulum for like the armbar triangle, but he's given up on that plan now. Going back to the butterfly guard.
And both guys seem pretty comfortable. But already you're seeing Reece looks fresh. He looks comfortable. You can see Deslie's he's had a few sweat beads already tonight. So he's got to manage his energy now, you know. Also, both guys with a final in mind and they know what they're dealing with. So in the back of their minds, they've got to see how they pace themselves here.
I mean, Jordan obviously had a hard fight now.
But he looks, I mean, he's cruising around here. He looks pretty fresh. And now Deslie's slowly starting to work that head pressure. And this is his game. Strong head pressure, makes it really uncomfortable. And I think that's a good tactic there from Reece. Make it a bit dirty. Yeah. That head pressure is pretty dirty, you know, like get your hands on there. And
what's interesting is what Reece isn't allowing, he's not letting Deslie's head actually get under his chin. He's always making sure the head's just low enough so the pressure's not as intense as what was happening against Brandon. See there, as soon as that happens, he's pinned. That sucks. But he seems to be fighting it off pretty well, which keeps forcing Deslie to reset. And then as soon as he kind of postures up, you see Reece is looking for that guillotine, that snap down guillotine.
Starting to hear some heavy breathing coming from across the mat. I think it's Deslie.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to put on as much pressure as possible now. Maybe that air is starting to get a little bit thin up top.
For those guys wondering at home, the girls will be on after this fight.
Yeah, the girls are going to be exciting. The quintet style setup. There's some heavy cross-face pressure here from Deslie, Faithfull.
See, he's got that now. He's got that arm pinned with the legs. He's switching his leg to.
And he's been working for this position most of the
Yeah.
night. This is where he's happy, you know. But like at some point, he's got to start converting that pressure into a more dominant position. I mean, he's got good control here, but
Yeah.
there's no real like besides being incredibly uncomfortable. There's no real threat to losing here. There's no submission threats or anything coming, you know.
Yeah,
And-
that. So you know, you go IBJJF, you go ADCC, you go AJP, regardless of gi or no gi. You know, you can win with points and position. That doesn't. While position does translate to submissions, you still actually have to get the submission.
And again, like the longer you're out there, you've still got to go through to another round here.
Yeah,
you know,
the harder
so
it is. And then, as you said, a whole other fight afterwards.
trapping that arm now on the far side with his head. He's so good with that head
So
pressure.
very nice, like leg pummeling from Deslie.
Oh, and he's giving up his back.
Unfortunately, Reece kind of giving up his back there. But Deslie's struggling to get his control hooks in. I mean, look, Reece is no stranger to this kind of position. He was in it a few times, I think, against Tal. And then he managed to turn it around.
And still a lot of time here. We're only reaching the halfway
Way mark.
point now. I feel like these guys have done so much already for 5
Yeah.
minutes. So
Okay,
they're still
so
going to survive another 5 here. And he's
Nice.
out. And that's what we were saying. Reece is so good at this. He doesn't panic.
I guess he's just so used to having Chris Bryden and Johan on top of him. that
yeah. And Chris Bright. Chris
then
Bright's not the lightweight he used to be. He's
and
definitely
other guys like Sindila and Shorty,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
they're all top-heavy MMA players. So that kind of pressure is what he's used to defending against.
And also, like MMA guys tend to be like heavily quick on a submission. They've got that killer instinct, so he knows he can't make mistakes. And just a great gym down there in PE, man. The guys, they obviously he was here not so long ago, and they won the quintet. He was instrumental in that. I think they blew the socks off of everybody. You know, they were super slick. They were super technical, and that's what Chris Bright brings, man. It's a great setup down there.
Strategy, you know,
Yes.
they used a fresh, strong white belt to eliminate a higher level, heavier dude. And then
Definitely starting to see the effects of a lot of grappling now. Both guys getting heavier breaths by the minute. And now Reece has got the chance to be on top and put a bit of pressure on Deslie.
Yeah, it was an interesting grip he was going for with the crossface. Okay, he's looking for the body lock passing now, but he's just disengaged. Deslie doing a good job of framing between and not allowing him to solidify the position.
Reece was almost looking, I don't know if he was looking to his corner or to Bobby. I don't know why he wasn't happy with something there.
No, I think it was to his corner.
Oh,
Slick
straight
work
into
to
the
get to the
mount.
mount.
You almost thought about the Ezekiel there for a second, it looked like.
So what Reece is trying to do now is trying to push that hand down to flats. Not so much for the submission. Oh, he
Yeah,
is looking for
that
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
I guess more energy
Risky.
efficient without giving up the position.
Risky. And the interesting thing here, like Reece is one of the lighter guys here on this roster, you know, against a strong guy like Deslie. It's very interesting how that's going to work out. I mean, he's in a dominant position here. He's got to think about how he does things now.
So now he's going again. He's trying to. So he
Oh,
keeps
looking for
going.
that Ezekiel again.
So he keeps circling between the same three things. He goes Ezekiel so that Deslie defends high, which opens up the elbow. So then he can try and get a gift wrap position, which allows either an arm triangle or the back. So it's really smart from Reece to just keep cycling through there. But now he's same pass to the top, but this time he sets
Into
up the triangle.
That was insanely
That
slick.
was slick.
And still working on that triangle. It's
And he's
getting
got the
quite
arm.
deep here now.
Gets the
he
tap.
does!
Beautiful
Reece
jiu-jitsu from both.
Merwe does it again. This kid is so slick.
This is a
He
star
is
in the
so
making.
slick. What? That was insane.
Absolutely beautiful jiu-jitsu from both guys, but Reece just finding a way, finding a tactic, setting things up.
Dude, that was so slick. So slick. And this is what I said about Reece. This is what he does. He manages to find small moments right at the death to pull off the most insane submissions.
What's interesting there was it's the same pass to mount that he did the first time to mount, but then he obviously noticed something the first time that Deslie did and turned it around.